am here about 150 feet away from the UFrag booth, here in front of the Dante's Inferno booth. Now, we'd get a better shot, except if you want it live, you got to make a little bit of a sacrifice. But here we are, live in front of the Dante's Inferno booth with Rony, product manager of EA, and he's working on Dante's Inferno, and he's going to tell us everything about Dante's Inferno that we need to know. Now, why don't you get us started with a little bit about the game?
Sure. So the game is based on Dante's Inferno, the poem, which is the first part of the Divine Comedy, which is a trilogy of poems. And the player will play as Dante, and you will travel through the depths of hell, through the 9 circles, in search of your lost love, Beatrice. It is an action fighting game, lots of fun, lots of amazing beasts of hell, amazing environments and levels, and also some RPG elements thrown in there, so it's a very cool game.
All right, now why don't we cut to the meat of it right now? You know, there's been the comparisons of God of War. Let me know, do you guys try to shy away from that, or do you revel in it and go, God of War is a great series, we want to be compared to it?
Yeah, just like you said, God of War is a great game, and this game is definitely in the same genre as God of War. So if we're getting comparisons to God of War, that's a good thing for us, because God of War...
You know you're on the right track.
Yeah, we're on the right track. You know, and people have been playing. Our booth has been completely packed throughout the show, and you know, a lot of people say, wow, that is like God of War, but this is a lot of fun, and I really want to play this. It's a completely different story, different weapons, you know, totally different time frames. So, you know, if you like God of War, you're absolutely going to love this game. If you don't like God of War, I still think you're going to love it anyways.
Now, what would you say it's more like? Because, you know, there are, this is a genre, and there's a lot of games in it like Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden, God of War, etc., etc., etc. Which of those would you say it is most like? God of War?
I would say it's probably a split between God of War and Devil May Cry. I would say the combat's a bit more like Devil May Cry. This sort of whole mystique and sort of background behind the game is probably more God of War.
All right, and what would you say has been the features in this demo that you have here that has most been interesting, that people have been most interested about and most amazed by?
Well, what's great about our demo that we're showing today is we're showing 2 levels. We're showing Limbo, which is the first circle of hell, and we're showing Anger, which is the 5th circle. And I think what a lot of people are noticing is how distinct the 2 levels are from each other. Just because the entire game takes place in hell doesn't mean that you're going to see the same things over and over again. This game is not repetitive at all in terms of the levels being completely different from one another, and we really have to give credit for that to Dante himself, the poet, because he did such an amazing job of describing each circle, and each circle is completely different from the one before because each circle characterizes a different kind of sinner. So you will see those different kinds of sinners.
All right, so we're not seeing palette swaps here. We are seeing completely different and unique levels. Now,
unique levels, new bosses, new types of abilities that you come across as you enter a new level.
All right, and you're going for a hard M rating.
This will be an M rating, yes.
All right, and now one thing that I have noticed in some of the preview videos, and I don't know whether it was either the color correction on the video or maybe it was done for ESRB reasons, but you know, sometimes they'd cut a guy open and orange blood would spew out. Do some of the enemies actually have orange blood, or what? Or was the color changed for the trailer?
So there's different colors for different things. When you kill an enemy, there's several different things that happens. There's white orbs that come out; those are your souls. That's the economy of the game. There's also blue orbs sometimes that comes out. That goes to your magic, which is a new ability in the game that we haven't really discussed in detail. And then there's also blood and guts and all sorts of nastiness that comes out as well. So there's a healthy mix, to say the least.
All right. Now, what would you say has been the biggest praise as well as the biggest criticism that you guys have gotten so far for the game?
Praise, I would say, is really delivering a true hell experience. You know, the sort of mantra of our game is "Go to hell." That's what's written on my shirt. That's what we're probably going to write on the packaging. And we really are delivering that. The team at Visceral Studios up in Redwood Shores, California, has done a phenomenal job of really delivering a true hell experience. There's really no hell game like this. Criticism, I think you touched on it earlier, probably some God of War comparisons, but like I said, you know, if people think our game is like God of War, that's a compliment.
It's a good thing. It's a compliment, yeah. I mean, you know, the last thing you want is people to say the game sucks, but if somebody said it's like God of War, that's like the high end of criticism, yes. Yeah. All right, now we're getting questions from the chat room right now. They're beaming into my ear, and people want to know what kind of weapons can we expect to see in the game besides, say, the scythe that we've seen so far and the cross. What kind of weapons can we be seeing from level to level? What kind of power-ups do they have? Things like that.
So the scythe and the cross are the predominant weapons. What's interesting about them is that you can actually level them up as you progress in the game, and the way you do that is with the souls that I mentioned earlier. So the more souls you accumulate, the more upgrade abilities you can have. Now we also have a game mechanic where you can either absolve or punish the damned in hell. Now absolving and punishing also gives you a soul payout, and that is also used to upgrade your weapons. And absolving and punishing each have their own thing you can do. You see that in the demo. There's another sort of combat ability that I mentioned earlier. It's called magic, and we haven't really discussed much about it, but I can tell you that it's a different form of combat that does not necessarily use one of the weapons, but it's a new way of fighting the enemies, and they're very, very cool. Look for more information on that in the near future.
All right, great. One really quick little question. Now, I've noticed the cross being used, where it goes like that and this blast comes out. Would you say that's basically the game's equivalent of the shotgun?
It is. The cross is a ranged weapon, so you use it to sort of create some space between you and the enemies. You'll notice that they'll sort of crowd up on you, and if you hold down circle for the PlayStation 3 and then beam out the sort of cross powers, you'll see that you'll create some space, and then you can use your scythe to start attacking and killing. So that's what...
All right, are there any final comments that you'd like to make about the game to get people interested in it?
I would just say to everyone who's watching, thanks for watching, and go to hell, February 9th, 2010, Dante's Inferno from EA. It's going to be an exciting game.
All right, and one final question, will we be able to dual-wield any weapons?
No comment.
No comment. No comment is always good comment, because no comment isn't a flat-out no. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And back to you, Shane.